What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/IDoWorkHereLady. This story's called Lady Calls Me and Thinks That I Am Scamming. Hi, I'm new here. Context: I work for a company that sells insurances for appliances. However, I'm just in a call center in South America, Colombia, and I do the billing from there. Let's start. Beep. Thank you so much for calling. Name of the company. May I have your phone number, please?
No. Who are you? Why are you answering my call?
Well, I do work here on the billing department, so I'm here to assist you.
Where are you from?
I'm from South America, Colombia.
So you're Mexican? I don't want to speak with Mexicans.
I do not hate Mexico, but I do really hate people who think that every person that speaks Spanish is Mexican. No, miss. I'm from Colombia, so
I don't care. Just help me out with this crap.
For sure, miss, no problem. However, just for your information, I would like to tell you that this is a professional call, so it's not necessary to talk in that way. So after I made all the process to validate the account, I asked, okay, miss, so you mean to update your credit card, right?
Yes.
Okay, so in that case, just in order to update, I'll need the new card number, the expiration dates, and the CVV code at the back.
And why do you need all of that? Let me give you the last 4 digits.
Well, miss, I can take the last 4 digits, but I won't be able to update the information for you.
Let me talk to your freaking supervisor.
Miss, this is the first warning. If you keep using bad language, I will have to disconnect this call.
No.
So, may I know why you want to talk to my supervisor?
Because you're trying to scam my information. You are trying to steal my information.
Miss, every call is being recorded, and I'm not allowed to keep that information after the call.
I don't trust you. In Mexico, there are just monkeys and immigrants.
I was losing my patience. Miss, this is the second warning.
I never swore.
No, miss, but you are being racist. I was trying to be polite the whole time, while that witch was just yelling.
Pass me your supervisor right now. I'm gonna call the police, my lawyer, and all the social media's gonna know about this, you frickin' monkey.
Okay, so this is the third warning. Thank you so much for calling and have a great day. I hung up the call. Fun fact, it was the first call of the day. Buddy, I'm so sorry. That is not the kind of environment you want to start your day with. Not environment, conversation. Come on, get your verb straight. That's not even a verb, that's a noun. This story's called
Why Aren't You Ready to Learn?
So as soon as I finished high school, I got a job as a teaching assistant for special educational needs children in a different high school. It was a really fun, albeit difficult and demanding job, and this is one of many similar stories. For context, I was 20 at the time, 5 foot tall, and I naturally look a lot younger than I am. If I had $1 for every time someone said, "I'll be happy when I'm 30, I'd have the money to buy higher heels. To make the age gap less of an issue, I worked exclusively with kids aged 11 to 14. Though half in a class were still taller than me, I would sit next to kids in class who needed help or who were generally disruptive, or float around the room to try and help the teacher's class go smoothly. But I was definitely the youngest teaching assistant there, with most of the others being 40 plus. I was in the UK at the time, and so my role in the room was usually not confusing since every student wears a school uniform and I obviously do not. However, on this one day of twisted fate, I walk into a Year 8 maths class on what is called Mufti Day, which is essentially a non-uniform day. Mufti? Like the Islamic expert dude? That's a strange name for that. I'm trying to get the kids settled, who have known me for almost a year now, including several ADHD children, 2 Down syndrome children, and a large gaggle of rowdy boys. The kind that think anything is funny as long as it isn't polite, correct, or anything the teacher says. These boys were my favorites. It was the hardest class any teaching assistant had to handle, and I was waiting on both a teacher and a second TA. Then the teacher does walk in, but he is a substitute teacher, aka doesn't normally teach here and is just filling in, which isn't unusual. First, he hands 2 kids some worksheets to hand out and gives me the third batch. Again, not abnormal since I hand out lots of things for teachers. We eventually sit down, and I decide for the time being to sit in between two of the naughty boys right at the front to keep them under control, since the mere presence of a substitute teacher is enough to send their deviant brains into an overdrive of, "What can we get away with?" Spoiler, usually they can get away with anything. Mr. Sub begins the lesson, talking about something or other when he stops right in front of my desk. He frowns at my empty table. "Do you not have a worksheet?" "Oh, no, sir. I don't need one."
"Where is your pencil case? Why don't you need one? And why aren't you ready to learn?"
He said this very sternly, and the entire class was quiet. Sub-teachers are known for being nastily strict at the start of the lesson to let the kids know you can't mess around with them when you totally can. Holding my lanyard up, "I'm a teaching assistant?"
Sir, she's not a student.
The poor man turns white as a sheet, and the boys and the rest of the class start howling with laughter. He apologizes about 6 times and takes a good few minutes to quiet everyone back down. Throughout the rest of the class, the kids kept bringing it up, and every time I passed Mr. Sub, he apologized again. Although the incident did make me think that should I ever want a day off, all I had to do was turn up in a school uniform and blend right in. That'd be funny. But man, this makes me feel so bad, because substitute teachers, it's a really hard job. I know it's kind of like casual teaching, you know, teaching without a commitment. Anyway, it's just substitute teachers, they never get respect. Kids are jerks, man. Like, anytime there's a substitute teacher, I try really, really hard to stay quiet and respect them, because I really feel bad when a substitute teacher is trying to get everyone to shut the hell up and do their work, but everyone's just completely disregarding them. However, I didn't say that the substitute teacher yelled, but they did all caps, and that's how my brain interpreted it. You get it. But anyway, don't yell at a special ed kid that you just met, because, like, you don't know them. So, like, as far as you know, like, you could freak them out or something. This story's called, "You Really Want Me to Watch a Homeless Man Masturbate?" Posted this on r/IDoWorkHereLady and tried to post it on r/TalesOfRetail, but couldn't for some reason. Anyway, enjoy the story, and I'm not sure if it technically belongs on the sub. First time posting on Reddit, and I'm on mobile, so apologies. English is my best language, however, autocorrect is a bimbo, so again, forgive me. I live in New York City, won't tell you the borough, and was Brooklyn, and was volunteering for the public Queens, it's gotta be Queens, while I was in high school. I enjoyed working at the library. I put away books, made arts and crafts for kids, played on the Xbox One they had, and fixed computer problems boomers had. Once had an old lady try to print out a YouTube video. It was hilarious. As anyone who works in a public library, you have to deal with the public. We have nice people, bad people, sometimes junkies or homeless people just trying to stay off the streets for a few hours. It's whatever. I'd been working at the public library for about 2 weeks when I noticed a black homeless man sitting at a desk in the middle of the library. He had no books, but he had a plastic bag, which I assume had his food for the day. My manager is a nice, somewhat outdated old white lady, like early 60s, and I was a brown male teen. She kinda catches me off guard and pulls me into her office, and the following is said.
Hey, you see that black guy?
Yeah?
I want you to keep an eye on him.
Why?
Just keep an eye on him and make sure he doesn't do anything.
At this point, I was taken aback by my manager's words. I may not be black, but I certainly am a minority. Who knows how it feels to be racially profiled? The guy did nothing yet, so I respond as such. I'm very uncomfortable with what you're telling me. It sounds like you're being high-key racist, and I refuse to racially profile someone.
No, you idiots, I'm not racist. That's a crackhead, and he often masturbates in public. We can't kick him out or call the police on him till he does something, so I want you to watch him.
Oh my god. But you want your underage teen to watch a grown man and wait till he pulls his
penis out? Yeah, I do work here, but I don't want to work here, lady.
You know what? He may be a crack-headed pervert or a perverted crackhead, but OP. Good looking out there, buddy. You know, with the whole racial profiling. But what that was crackhead profiling, which is 100% acceptable. In fact, encouraged. This story's called Production Assistant Thinks She's My Boss. A bit of background. I work in the film and television industry. On this particular shoot, I was the best boy electrician, the foreman of the electrical department, and working directly under gaffer/chief lighting technician. The duties of a best boy electrician include things like filling out time cards for my department, hiring the lighting technicians, electricians, keeping the truck organized, and on this show, driving the Grip electric truck. One fine morning, I pull up to set, park my truck, and shut off the engine. I open up the back, then I head into the set to greet the gaffer and BBG and see where the gaffer wants things staged for the day, and what equipment will be pulling out first, and around whereabouts distro needs to be run. Once I get my instructions, I head back to the truck, and I find someone on it who I don't recognize. She's rummaging around the shelves, looking through the milk crates, completely ignoring me. Now, it's not impossible for me to not recognize someone on the truck. The best boy Grip may have bought on a day player if he's short-handed that day. So I go to introduce myself. Hey, how are you today?
Oh, good. You must be a production assistant. Can you tell me where the spike tape is?
Spike tape is marking tape, usually used for setting actors' marks. Oh, probably with the camera department. I'm sorry, who are you?
I'm just looking for the... Never mind.
She found my personal rolls in my carabiner. I keep 2 colors for my own use, and I use one of them to tag my drinks, and the other one for setting marks when I do Steadicam. These rolls are mine. They don't belong to the truck, nor to the production. She jumps down off of the deck of the truck and starts to head towards the set. Wait, stop! That's not camera department's tape. Do you want me to walkie the second AC for you?
What do you mean? It's spike tape, isn't it? I'm the key production assistant, which makes me your boss. Plus, I was the production manager on
mid-tier local web series.
So you should know who I am.
Those roles are actually mine. They have my name written on them.
No, they have the best boy electrician's name on them. And the assistant director told me to ask him, but he wasn't by the truck.
I'm the best boy electrician.
No, you're not. You're just some
local university
freshman. I know the best boy electrician. I have his phone number.
Why don't you go ahead and call him? She grabs a call sheet from her back pocket, then finds my number, dials it, puts the phone to her ear. After a second staring at me with hostility, my phone starts to ring. I take it out of my pocket and answer. Give me my tape, stay off of the truck. Production assistants are not allowed to touch grip or electrical equipment. I hung up, she gives me the tape and slinks off. Cut to around lunch and I see her lurking around grip staging area and round the corner just fast enough to see her walking off with a couple of apple boxes. I hang around staging for a while, eat my lunch, then start doing the rounds and making sure everything is ready to get back into shooting after lunch. I run across the 2 apple boxes next to a lunch box, which is a metal box with a bunch of outlets on it, run from our generator to power lower wattage lights. She had unplugged a light in order to charge her phone, which was left on top of the box. I unplug her phone and take it straight to the assistant director. I talk to the assistant director about it. Production assistants don't handle electric for any reason. We're pretty strict about that. And she was asked to go home after lunch. Turns out she had also spent the entire day hovering over the director's shoulder and bossing around the other production assistants, despite the fact that she wasn't actually the key production assistant. It also turns out that she was a senior at the university she said I was a freshman from. I have not seen her since. I have no idea why she thought I was a production assistant. First of all, that's badass. You don't really see a lot of stories from people in the film, or I guess entertainment industry even. It's really cool to see that, because, you know, your boy's a voice actor. This story's called The Inherent Sexism in Construction. Being a woman in the construction industry, there's a myriad of ways to be taken as someone who doesn't belong. It was made especially easy at my last job, where I would visit the majority of my job sites once a week to collect paperwork and again once a month for a meeting. One morning, I was getting out of my car on a site about an hour from my home. It was early, almost 7 a.m., and the coffee I sucked down on the trip hadn't hit me yet. I'm one of those people who barely functions for the first hour or two after waking ticking. Any conversation results in a resting bimbo face while I process your words. I stepped out of my car. I was parked in a special lot that was put aside for people going on that specific site. I make my way to the other side of my car to put on my vest and hard hat and grab my laptop for the meeting. But before I get to open my door, I'm stopped. Some guy working on site for the same contractor as we are, but not for us, tells me,
This parking lot is for people on the job site only.
I agree. It was phrased as a statement, so I didn't think anything of it. Just confirmed that he was, in fact, correct, but then he kept repeating,
This parking is for people on the job site only.
Had he come 1 minute later, maybe I would have passed for someone who belonged with my safety gear on. But I sure as hell wasn't gonna open my car door in the situation to grab my stuff. After a bit of repetitive back and forth, I get annoyed and gestured to the job site. Can I go now? I have a meeting.
On a job site?
Yeah.
Oh, and you're parked in the right place.
I know. I get my things and go to the office trailer. The coffee finally hits me a couple of hours later. I realized he didn't think I belonged here because I am a woman on a construction site. This is a difficult one because obviously OP did nothing wrong. She's just doing her freaking job. So that's out of the way. However, we do need to take into account the fact that construction is like, I don't know the actual numbers and I could be wrong, so sorry if I am, but it's like 99% male. That is obviously an exaggeration, but it's mostly male. And that could be for various reasons, whether it be probably most women who grow up in the United States won't have the idea of a construction job implanted in their brain because it's just never what is suggested for them. Like, for instance, as a guy who's grown up in mostly rural areas, a lot of guys go into construction, and I've been told multiple times, Zach, you should do it too, it's good money and all that crap. It seems small, but something as simple as that could just like open your mind to so many other possibilities. Like, whoa, what if I did go to construction? Or it could be something like hostile work environments when women do work on construction sites. And I could see that as being a real problem because it's very often a real problem in male-dominated workforces. I want y'all in the comments to weigh in on this discussion because I'm freaking 100% certain that many of you guys have more experience in construction than I do, or other industries similar. Alright, this story's called Checkmate Nosy. I'm 22 years old. I have an invisible disability which makes my joints feel like I'm being stabbed and makes my knees swell up. You probably know where this is going already. At college, we have lifts from the ground floor to the 4th floor, one in the middle of each wing and one either side of the central building. A few days ago, my knee was acting up as I was walking, so I headed over to the lifts and knelt down to get my foldable walking stick out of my bag. Currently, the lifts have signs asking people not to use them unless they're disabled to prevent the spread of a certain virus. As I'm pulling my stick out, a girl behind me says, "Excuse me," but I ignore her because I didn't think she was talking to me. Then she moves closer and repeats herself. So I look up, she looks at me, wrinkles her nose and says, "The lift is only for disabled people. You have to use the stairs. Are you disabled? You don't look disabled." I stare at her silently as I remove the thingy from my walking stick, unfold it, and fit it together. I lean heavily on it as I stand up and say, "Sorry, are you talking to me?" She walks away and I limp into the lift with a smug grin. And smug grin you should have, you smug bastard. That was beautiful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.